What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome back to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex, and I'm joined by 3/4 of the mighty Black Chamber.
What's up? DFW.
All right, guys, introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, please.
I guess we'll start with the front man. Yeah, I'm Levi Hill. I do the vocals things.
David Cruz, I'm the drummer.
Mike Whistle, guitar.
All right, so
Steve Krause. Steve Krause.
Steve Krause, the missing member.
Yeah, he had a family commitment.
it's all good. So bust out your pens and your papers and dip your pencil in the ink of Satan because it is time to learn the history of the Black Chamber. So, where did it all begin? How did it all come out?
Well, actually, it started with Steve and I, the bass player. We worked together and kind of gravitated to each other because we heard that I heard that he liked metal. He found out that I liked metal, so we started talking about music and stuff like that. And the subject came up that he was a bass player and I played drums. So we started jamming together with a few other people. Nothing really kind of coalesced. There wasn't any chemistry really with some of the other people that we played with. So we started searching. We came across Levi here and Mike. Mike, I believe we found you on a Craigslist, right?
Yeah, it's on Craigslist.
Back page Craigslist.
Yeah. Steve was promising something. Some music going on. So.
Levi, man, refresh my memory, man. Like, how do we find you? Were you like in the gutter somewhere? Like,
Yeah, I was home. I knew Steve just through like mutual interests and like totally separate like stuff. We were both kind of into like hiking and stuff, and I met Steve, and you do that whole thing when you meet another metalhead, and you're like, make some sort of reference. And he's like, oh, well, Behemoth, and they're testing the waters to see if you think that's real metal, and of course, we both knew the handshake, and so Steve just, in talking about metal, Steve, the bassist, he just, invited me out because I guess at the time it was kind of, there was nobody for vocals.
Yeah, we tried a bunch of people, man, and we found very quickly that finding local talent is kind of hit or miss. We either find somebody who's talented but not reliable, or
Somebody's super reliable, like, I'm so dedicated, and they sound like they scratch chalkboards for a living.
Well, that was me at first, yeah.
Dude, that's me right now.
Well, he had. I don't think you ever sang with a band before.
No, I was just a metal fan, I didn't know.
Oh shit, so this is so Black Chamber's your cherry.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude, I know how that is.
Yeah.
Score for Black Chamber.
3-4 years almost now? It's crazy like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was terrible at first, and actually I think when we first started it was like tryout status for quite a while because they were like still I didn't know quite what I was doing, and then it's just like the high school breakup, it's like, yeah, you won't find anybody better than me. We started with just jamming out, and there was a couple of other members, and actually what was the original name? It wasn't even Black Chamber originally. It was just Silent Messiah.
Silent Messiah, which is it was a name that was given, that was thought up by a member that's no longer with us, and the whole thing didn't fit. Like, it just there were pieces of the band that weren't jiving. So when we met Mike and Levi, it felt right. I mean, he was raw. He never played with a band before, so we were all kind of like, don't know about Levi and stuff like that. But I mean, he's like made such progress. I mean, for a guy who's never played a band before, you can't. It's not easy to just jump into a situation like that.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So, but and we've been together for almost 4 years now, maybe 4 years, and we're just like all. It's just like a family, like brothers.
And this past February, you released your debut album. right? February.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
February 17th, I think. I'm a dork. I knew the date on the button.
You knew the date better than we knew the date.
It's a soft day.
Yeah, we released the record.
Well, it just recently became available on iTunes and stuff, right?
Yeah. We finally got we paid for.
Otherwise, you used to have to come to the shows to get the stuff. So.
I get like because I remember that night because I saw you I believe once or twice before that show, and I was talking to some people I forgot, and like we were all trying to figure out like how would you describe your sound, and like eventually I just came down to they're like the grooviest death metal band I know.
I'll take that. Yeah. We struggle with that too, trying to pigeonhole the genre that you can put us in because it is a little bit different. I mean, there is some elements of thrash and death, and I guess it's funky because my big influence is probably Randy Rhoads or Kirk Hammett back, Metallica, and I think that comes through a little bit. But there was some Schuldiner, I love Old Death and Lamb of God, stuff like that, and I think it just all fuses together into a weird. And then the breaks where you go into the melodic, slower parts, and David's funky syncopated drum stuff, and altogether it's definitely hard to.
Yeah, we don't like exercise any sort of like master puppet for like what we're shooting for sound wise. Like we just kind of let our
And that's the good thing because you don't limit yourself on what you want to do. It's like I'll probably admit since I've barely boldly stated that Skull Archer is thrash and I want to play thrash when we want to do thrash. That sometimes I'll think of a riff in my head. God, it sounds great. But it's not thrash enough. I need to thrash this riff out. So it seems like you don't really get to have that issue. You can just like, dude, this would be sick. Let's try it out. And boom, you get it. I did want to backpedal real quick, since this is the first band that you have done vocals in, and you did say at first that you were kind of on the raw side. What exactly did you do throughout playing shows to kind of, get your vocal center, as they say?
Right. I mean, the biggest, I think, contributor to, I guess, getting a style, I guess if you call it that, or proficiency with the vocal kind of technique was just practicing. I mean, at first it was just coming and screaming my balls off until I could barely squeak out normal normal speech the next day, and then after a while you have things you want to emulate and bands you like for me I was I'm a pretty mainstream death metal fan, I guess, so I liked Cannibal Corpse, so George Fisher was like a big influence, so was like Chris Burns, and so you just try to meld and mix things that you enjoy, and you realize that you can't quite do those things, and so you just kind of flub it there after a while, and then I guess wherever the chips fall, that's where you actually end up sounding. And so we were like 2 days a week for a long time, I think.
Yeah.
And so just over and over doing it, and then playing live shows, learning where that ceiling is to where I how do I get the vocal sound? Like at first I was just trying to sound brutal, and I would wear myself out, dude. Like I would have totally jacked up throat for days, and I don't even think it even sounded better. Like I was shooting for these real long, kind of like Pavarotti-esque, like death growls and stuff, and I listen to that stuff now, and it's like, man, I just oversimplified it so much. Whereas now I think I can explore some range and stuff like that, and it's funner.
I can relate to the dropping the chips and seeing where they lay because I've always been told I sound like a mix between Billy Milano and Kurt from DRI.
Uh-huh.
But see, my biggest vocal influence for thrash is probably Steve Souza from Exodus, and so I'm probably never gonna be at Steve Souza, but if I could form a triangle and throw myself in the middle of those three, I think I'd be pretty satisfied with that.
I can hear all those elements in your singing, so
We suck.
No, you guys are pretty good. I mean, it's definitely a thrash sound, so
That's what we shoot for. I mean, but going back, so was there a time Was there a time that you planned on releasing this album sooner, or like an EP, I guess to say, but like something just got in the way? Because 3 or 4 years, before coming out with something, that's actually normally about the time, the average time that the local band takes to produce something, because just of all the, we don't, if you're not smart, it doesn't pay well. It doesn't, like, at all. Keep your job.
It actually costs a lot of money to
lot.
put music together. I mean, we don't make any money. Or I don't anyway.
If we get anything, we're like, woohoo,
yeah,
12 bucks a piece.
Yeah.
So Dave did all the Dave bought the recording equipment, and we, go to his house, and that's what really took so long, is just find the time to, to sit down and mix and master and just do all the even after we recorded it, we did all the breakdown, just because of the money issue, man. We just all have jobs and families and can't afford to
And that
pay
was
the money.
a big part of why we took so long too, is
Right, no, we had all the songs ready within the first year of being together. It's just a matter of, like I said, coming up with the funds and the ability to put it all together. And we've already got, we've got another EP ready, and then, we're kind of talking about, I don't know, we've been throwing around the idea of a concept album even, and so, just depends. We don't know though. It's all money and time.
We never get to this place where we're like, oh man, like if you guys can't like record this song in the next week, we're gonna start like looking elsewhere for because we just can't, like we all got families and normal jobs.
Other priorities, and the music is fun, and I love doing it. But yeah, it's a lot of work and a lot of effort to make that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it took so long.
And to be honest with you, like
he's a terrible procrastinator. Let me
I'm a terrible procrastinator. And also, when you're DIYing everything, like I recorded everything in my house.
Wow.
I mixed everything, mastered everything.
It sounds really good for a house recorded album.
Thanks, man.
I have albums from local bands that are like done in a studio that don't sound as good.
Cool.
Well, I really appreciate that. My only complaint about it, and me being self-critical, is that the sound is not consistent. And there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
It took us so long to record, and I basically recorded almost every different song with different mics and different setups and stuff like that, just because I was learning as I went. So the songs don't have a consistent sound. Some of them sound like, a group of them sound like they were recorded in a certain which they were, with certain microphones and stuff like that. So there's like a slight sound discrepancy between some of the songs.
Right, and it's all quality. I mean, it was all quality equipment. It was just different. Like some of them were the 57, and you'd use the 421 on some just to have their different sound. But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a huge learning process for me. I had never used a digital audio workstation. I'd never mixed or mastered anything in my entire fucking life. So it was just a huge learning experience, but it was also a big pain in the ass too.
I know how that is. Like editing these episodes for the podcast. It's like okay. So before I did this, I had like a stupid like little YouTube gaming channel where like I tried to be edgy and funny as like any 19-year-old kid would be. So I was fucking around with Vegas Pro, like, because that's what I use, and it came out so bad. And so I actually sat down on the program for like 6 hours before I started this. And I'm like, okay, I think I get everything now. And it's still like, okay.
Right. It's like the conversion time and how much work you gotta put into it or what it's like. I think 12 to 1, hours. Yeah, it's crazy.
I have a fucking class to learn that shit. But I'm not gonna take it. It costs too much money.
I went and I invested, I paid, I don't know how much, like $300 or $400 for this Sony Movie Master Suite software that I've got on my computer, man. And I remember the first time I opened it up, I tried to navigate, I was like, holy shit. So you need a fucking master's degree to do anything with this thing. So yeah, it's been sitting on my hard drive collecting dust, digital dust.
So real quick, I did want to get into inspirations, like I guess like musicians or bands that like I guess you look to, because we already covered some of it.
Yeah.
But I guess we can go to like a tiny bit more detail, just like I don't know, like what kind of gears your sound for Black Chamber, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah, I'd probably rather go with the actual musicians. And
Yeah, we'll start with Mike.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike's the main song.
I just try not to scoop too much of my mids, and right now I'm going through a thing where I'm just trying to keep things as easy as possible. So I bought a little orange lunchbox. It's which one is it? The Dual. Yeah, the Dual. That's what it is. It's not the Dark. It's the Dual Terror. It's good, man. I dig it. So it's plenty loud enough. And then I run a Hermita cab with the 212s in it, Celestians. I got an 80 and then I got a 30. So if you mic both of them, you get a little different tone from each of them. I am particular about my sound, and I can definitely tell, when it's knobs have been turned or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, who touched the knob?
Even like mixing down, we were talking about that. One time he sent me a mix, I was like, whoa, dude, something's up.
I was like, take his guitar jam skill. Make it a little darker. Just turn it up. I mean, like, I made some slight tweaks, man. He caught on to it right away.
Nice.
What'd you fucking do to my sound? I'm like, all right, I'm down with that.
Red-handed.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as that goes, I'm a little more MIDI than a lot of the other bands. Plus, we did the album in 440A tuning, but we've actually since then stepped everything down to half step, just for fun, really, and it helps Steve with his other project right now. That way he's not switching tuning back and forth. But orange, so yeah, I'm digging my orange cab. I also play through a PV Valve King 100. I like that as well. I got the 212 version of that, and I liked it so much I bought the head version. So it's cool. Those are good backup beds. Anyway, that's mine. Yeah.
I got two kits. I got one for live and one for recording. So I had a custom kit made when I was 20 years old. A company out upstate New York called GMS. It's just a thick shelled maple kit, a little bit solid brass lugs, one of the things a tank. But I paid a lot of money for it. It's got a beautiful finish on it. It's a beautiful drum kit, but that's why I don't play with it live. Live, I used to use a Pearl Birch Vision kit. It's an old, beat up, rusty kit with chunks missing out of it, that I paid.
But it's still there.
It's
still going.
Dude, it's still going, and it sounds pretty badass. I mean, it's not a bad sounding kit.
These guys are really good drummer, by the way. These guys are really good drummer.
Thank you.
Science Slayer really likes that guy, this guy right here.
Oh yeah, but man, I've known Michael since he was like a baby.
It's crazy. So seeing him rocket into I guess internet stardom and being on the news, how is that? How is that for you? Oh shit, I knew that guy when he was shitting his pants.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a trip, man. I'm super happy for him. I know he's actually he's not in Texas anymore.
No, I think he's in Arizona.
Yeah, with his dad.
Oh shit, come back. I don't know what the fuck. Arizona Science Slayer doesn't even sound cool.
He'll be back.
Of course. He said he was going to try to come over for the house party. Oh, we're holding you to it.
That would be badass, man. Hope to see you there.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut off and skip you.
No, it's
go
a
ahead.
conversation.
Go ahead.
As far as I guess how technically I get my sound.
Well, I guess the question was inspirations for musicians, but
Oh yeah,
okay, turn it into gear talk. It's okay.
We were taking notes. So.
I'll tell you my influences because it's a short list. Okay, so away from Voivod. Mark St. Reed, the drummer from Celtic Frost.
Yeah.
V-Tech from Decapitated.
Oh
the
shit.
Kid that died. There's no way I can play to his level, but he's if I could, my aspiration is to play like that kid. Unbelievable. 27 years old, what he did on those records, Decapitated record.
Yeah.
So those are my main influence. Oh, and David Butterfield. That's,
Oh, yeah.
He's
That's a given.
I mean, the guy is such an inspiration. He's 50 and he keeps getting fucking better. I saw him in Suicide when I was
Oh God, yes.
blown away. I'm like, man, this guy's like almost 60 years old. He's fucking killing it.
And his recent project with Dead Cross, his drumming on that is like
Yeah, he
to a T.
he just keeps getting better.
And him and Mike Patton together is interesting. I've always wanted to see that pattern. But just because Mike Patton just has this weird vocal range that like I don't think no one else will ever have.
He's a great singer. I mean, he's an oddball it seems, but he's a great singer for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, take it to you, good sir.
Influences. I don't know. I guess it depends when you ask me. Yeah. Right now, like I guess like I don't listen to a whole lot of metal anymore like I used to. But like the metal influences are pretty like I guess typical. Like I liked Corpse Grinder. He's one of like just a pure power that I wish I could like even come close to. He's probably the top influence, but like Trevor Stranad from Black Dog Murder was also a big influence. And I know there's like a lot of elitist types out there that like shit all over both of those. It's kind of like cliche sort of examples, but like none of those assholes can sing like those guys either. So like,
I've always had an issue with elitism because metal elitists only like certain parts of metal, or only certain like artists or bands or genres. So like, I don't know, I've always felt like they're not as big of metal fans as like your typical metal fan is. Like, like the guy who likes everything, like oh yeah, because like I fuck with pretty much all genres except most hardcore, and like I haven't really heard a lot of doom bands, like straight up doom bands that I'm super into. But like other than that, I dig everything else. Like when I see someone, it's like, oh, only black metal is great. It's like, so you're not a metal fan, you're a black metal fan. Just a black metal fan. Like I don't know. I don't know. It just always takes me off.
Yeah. I guess it's more just me like feeling like there's something good to offer from like even outside of metal. Like I like some like some good. Sludge and even like I'll go into like I'm pretty into like some real like true Southern blues and stuff like that. And, like even like Frank Sinatra. Like I think there's something in all that music that is something that at least I find personally enjoyable. I don't know that I model it when I'm trying to sing, but of course, I'm from Texas, so like Phil Anselmo, of course, it's like you can't like not be in a metal band in Texas and not have been influenced by that. So I'm pretty eclectic, but I'm more of a I like to mix the flavors. I don't really have like thing I'm trying to shoot at or feel like I'm trying to pay homage to.
Oh, dude, going outside of metal is fun as shit, dude. I'm telling you right now, even though it's like inspiration, I totally fuck with Selena. I fucking love Selena. I don't care what none of y'all say. Selena's great. Fuck you. Totally down on some Selena. But I honestly, my favorite musician like ever in life, it's never gonna change, is Chuck Berry. Big Chuck Berry fan. Always have been. Always.
That's interesting. That's cool.
King, like dude, that is the true king of rock and roll. That guy's the true forefather of everything, man. That guy's great. All right, Mike, we'll shoot it back to you. It's not gear question.
You'd like to know?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. Probably first memories of guitar was playing tennis rackets. Maybe like Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. So maybe some of that.
It's a good guitar.
Like old school, yeah.
Good
And
guitar
then,
band.
I remember air guitar into some D Young, old Styx, like Grand Illusion album and stuff like that. So
You and my dad would get along.
that was a long
Just
time
fine.
ago. And then but then when I first got a guitar, it was Metallica Master of Puppets was, probably my first Tab album. And then, I had the Randy Rhoads tribute tab, and it kind of grew from there. But those were pretty much where I started. And then even still, like I said, a lot of my sound is probably based on that. It's kind of funky because if you took Levi's screaming vocals away, I don't know, it'd be hard to make it metal. Almost some of it, some of it almost wouldn't be metal anymore. But it's weird, but it works.
I'm jealous of anyone who was back in that time could go up and buy the Master of Puppets album when it came out. That must have felt goddamn amazing. It's like, oh shit, this album just came out. You didn't know that you were picking up a piece of history right there. Damn.
Yeah, and obviously Mustaine, he's a genius. I feel like. I mean, most of my favorite Metallica riffs were written a day, and so
that first album is amazing. Because I think he wrote like 90% of the songs on the first album. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I say, Call It Cthulhu, all like a bunch of my favorites are from there. And then, Megadeth is awesome. Slayer's awesome. Rain and Blood, probably a bunch of, life changer for me. A bunch of my music was on that. And then, what else maybe? Even,
mentioned Death.
yeah, I mean, like I say, Shoulder. I said him earlier. I love Chuck. R.I.P. Chuck. He was definitely, as far as I'm concerned, grandfather. An influence there.
Death is one of those bands that, in my opinion, doesn't have a bad song. Like, all of their songs are great. All their entire discography is just filled with just amazing pieces of work, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, for me, that's the first band that I've ever listened to from start to finish. Like, God, there's not one bad thing in this band. Holy shit.
And there was a definite evolution in the way they played. I mean, from scream, bloody gore to,
thought patterns.
I mean,
you can see it grow.
Yeah, there's those later records, man, they brought in a lot of different non-metal influences and stuff like that, and incorporated into it. And I think we kind of think along the same lines. We try to do things a little differently. Not concerned too much with mosh parts or breakdowns or anything like that.
Right.
We've covered Death too.
Yeah,
I actually remember, I think it was like the first time I ever saw it. It's like, you guys want to hear a Death cover? And like the entire crowd was like, yeah! Alright, this is a Morbid Angel cover. But it was like, oh god. But it was great because I love Morbid Angel. And it was such a good cover too. And they have covered great.
Well, I was playing a little bit on that. Like, I was like, because I think sometimes people identify like artists on with them, and so I'd like to be a little contrary.
Well, we've done some weird covers, yeah. I mean, we did Merciful Fate. We covered Evil. We covered Blackened by Metallica. I mean, like
wait, Evil like EVILE? That band?
No, Merciful Fate cover, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Merciful Fate.
God, my head.
Anyway, yeah, so.
I've actually joked around about it, like doing like all cover sets and stuff. But I guess it could be
they've also covered Creator. It was really good. It's really good cover of Enemy of God, which is a cover, honestly, that my drummer and I were like, it'd be cool if we could cover this one day. I'm like, fuck yeah.
That's
and
fun.
then it's like when I saw y'all play, I went back to him, hey, look, man, we probably do like Violent Revolution or something. or like Hordes of Chaos.
Creator's a great bit.
That's kind of that's pretty recent, but like we were actually a little late in getting that one ready for the shows. We wanted to play probably like a show or two before we did, and when I finally learned it, was, of course it's the singer, that kind of slowed the process down. But like I didn't realize when like everybody wanted to play it that like it was like basically like a fucking master's thesis. The song, like it's like literally like we're trying to remember the first chapter of like 1984 or something. It's just like so dense. I think there's like 3 words in the song that repeat, and it's like all this like crazy shit. And then we finally play it live, and now I'm kind of like a prick about it, because like now like everyone likes the song, but they don't actually know the lyrics. And when I'm singing, I'm like, yeah, that's right, I know the fucking lyrics. You guys are just
plus 10 points to the 1984 reference. I read that book in college, and god damn, my brain was like just all jumbled after it. I'm like, what do I even think now?
Yeah,
like this
what's
is
even real?
what is real anymore? Actually, that's actually a great topic to go into because for me, like the logo that you guys have is like the most probably one of the most interesting logos like you can see if y'all haven't seen it. It's from the garbage build, like the pyramid with the eye in the middle. So is there any like symbolism towards that? Like, is there like a hidden message that you're throwing in with the logo, or?
It kind of evolved into the whole Illuminati thing. When I thought of the name, I presented it to these guys, and they were like, "Yeah, it's like a cool name." And what I'd gotten it from was I found out that the original name for the NSA was the Black Chamber,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was cool. You know, I kind of dug that whole like kind of political power, you know, kind of thing, and so I thought it would be a cool concept for a band name. And originally, when I thought of Black Chamber, I thought of the revolver barrel, you know, the round revolver barrel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I started thinking about aspects of the government, like, you know, corruption, conspiracy, encryption, like, you know, things that the government, tools that the government uses and stuff like that. The gun barrel eventually it evolved into an eye, like a, you know, and then the triangle, you know, you see the triangle in all sorts of government and like, you know, secret organization, like, you know, logos and stuff like that, you know, Illuminati, like, you know, the dollar bill and stuff like that. So it just is kind of like a mishmash of all those ideas, you know. That's how the logo.
And Satan.
And Satan.
That's Satan. Yeah, Satan was a huge influence.
Yes.
Shout out.
Thank you, Satan.
Shout out to Satan.
I guess that makes sense now because I remember the first couple of times I've seen you, you can come out in a fucking suit, which is, I love it when bands play in suits. If you play in a suit, you get like a +10 bonus points for me personally. Like, it's fucking cool.
It's fucking hot. Let me tell you.
We tried to get him to do it again. He won't.
Yeah, it's too hot. I got to wait till it's like the dead of winter, like 20 degrees. Like, it's the right weather now. But like the first line you always say when you come up is like, "We are Black Chamber. We are from the government. We are to help." And it's like whenever you hear those two, and whenever you hear that, you just know that you're gonna get sucked into the wormhole. Hey, look, see, I did a thing. So normally I will have a song that will play at the end of this episode, so that you guys can see what these guys are like. But I'm not doing that. I haven't done it. I didn't do it for Beer Break. I'm not going to do it for the next band coming on next week. Because you need to come out to the show, November 18th, right here at the headquarters of DFW Metal Mayhem in the Archer Garage. We will have Apophis 2036, Beer Break, motherfucking Black Chamber, Blasphemous Goat Vomit, and Exhortation of destroying that garage. It's going to be fucking great. BYOB, bring your own weed, bring your own big titty golf girlfriend, $5 entry fee. Let's tear this shit up. I'm so excited to have you guys on the house party. I was kind of like, I normally, with these house parties, I kind of just like type in, like, okay, I put on in this party, who wants in? And like, in the back of my mind, I'm always like, okay, there's like 5 bands that I really hope so. I listed you guys for this system. Like, okay, I hope one of these guys comes on in and is like, hey, yeah, we're down. And fuck it, like not even like an hour later. Forgot which one of y'all posted, like, we're down as fuck. I'm like, yes.
That's my favorite kind of show is a small, you know, intimate house party or something like
And
that.
it's a one-door garage house party, so we're going to be sardine like a motherfucker. but that's what creates unity.
Yeah.
That's a true unity creator. I guess one more thing I really wanted to get into really quickly was, David, you're also well known for actually being a fill-in drummer for STD whenever you know, Chris couldn't make it out to a show, or like shows that were out of town. So like, how did that all come about?
You know, I mean, to be honest with you, STDs kind of really helped us. You know, Silver Tongue Devil is kind of, at least for me, they've been mentors. You know, Craig and Alex and the rest of those guys. They've helped us out. We played a bunch of shows with them. We became good friends with them.
Yeah.
So
they took us under our wing when we first hit the scene, I think we're all like you said, we're all pretty new to the metal scene and stuff, and so Craig and John, I told those guys for sure.
They got us on our first
shut
show.
up.
Yeah, they're super cool at it. You know, so like when they needed a fill-in drummer, and it wasn't easy. I mean, this stuff is.
Josh is a maniac.
Yeah,
man.
Josh played on that last record.
Josh from Cytherea,
Orthodox Heresy,
Mhm.
and his playing is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's
They've
tough
had,
to play some of those
they've had a
songs.
lot of really good drummers. You know, they had him. Gabe was a really, really good drummer.
All the drummers have been good.
Yeah, Chris Luna. God, Luna, I love you. Get back in a band soon, please.
Yeah, Chris is a beast.
Mhm.
You know, like I was just kind of humbled to be playing with or trying to play in that setting with those guys because they're all super professional. They've all been around for a long time, and so it was just a cool. It makes me a better drummer. Honestly. So.
And shout out to Logan. Congratulations on the new STD drummer, brother. We hope it works out for you. Crucifix is amazing. I'll definitely have to show y'all a song after this is done. So yeah, if you didn't hear what I said like 6 minutes ago, be here November 18th. Party starts at 7 o'clock. First band goes on at 8. Just let's come out. Let's have a good time, man. Let's support each other and let's kick ass. Guys, thank you
It's
so
gonna be a
much
good
for
time.
coming on.
Thanks for having us, dude. It's been
I
fun.
can't wait for it. Next week we will have the only band of the 5 that has not yet been on this podcast. I don't even really need to say who it is. So just get hyped for it. We'll promote the show one more time there. And then the week after, I have already decided that after the next episode, I will not have an episode for the house party. And I'm actually going to take a very small break from the podcast for the rest of the year. And I'll pick it back up in January 2018. So, keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to try to make a lot of improvements so that we're not sitting on the couch and I'm having to project my voice the entire fucking time to the world in a living room with my puppy being like, why aren't you letting me in the house yet? Hopefully we can get like a really cool studio going off in the little room over here. I will keep you all updated on that. Thank you all for the support. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate it. We will see you next week. This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. I'm out of breath.